Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com with Dave's Faves, number 102. That's a great number because it's the number of possibly the greatest of all the Haydn symphonies. Number 102, the great London Symphony without a nickname. It's phenomenal. We'll get to it. We're only 80 or so symphonies away in the Haydn Symphony Crusade. But in the meantime, I want to talk about Mahler's Des Knaben Wunderhorn songs, the youth's magic horn, and my favorite recording, which is this one. This is Riccardo Chailly with Barbara Bonny, Matthias Goerne, Sarah Fulgoni, and Gustav Winbergh with the fabulous Concertgebouw. And as I said, Riccardo Chailly conducting. Now, Des Knaben Wunderhorn has had many good recordings, and I did do a video about it, including Gielan and Bernstein and Mackerras. I think that plus these are sort of like the four really, really great ones. But the fact of the matter is it's not a song cycle. It's a selection of songs that Mahler wrote over a period of time. And as some of you know, they are intimately related to the first four symphonies. And actually, they sort of overflow into some of the, really they go as far as the Seventh Symphony when you think about it, elements of them. It was a world. It was a fantasy world of folk-like music. And Mahler's gift in writing these songs is really creating his own folk language. It really is quite amazing. And you know who also did it? It's an interesting phenomenon that's sort of worth talking about, maybe in like some sort of like scholarly thing, was Sibelius, who created a Kalevala style, a Finnish mythic musical style, which was wholly Sibelius. It didn't come from anybody else. And the Des Knaben Wunderhorn folk music style is entirely Mahler's. It's a remarkable thing, and it's not given enough credit, I think, for being the fabulous flight of imagination and talent, I mean, sheer ability that it really is. Because not only did Mahler create this folk-like style, but he cloaked it in this enormously sophisticated orchestration. I mean, just unbelievably fabulous orchestration in these orchestral versions. They exist also in piano versions. But, one of the trends that this is also a part of is a fin de siècle, turn of the 20th century trend of writing folk-inspired music using unbelievably sophisticated orchestral, instrumental, and technical apparatus. Stravinsky did it in The Rite of Spring. It's folk music in a way, and Les Noces, but it's done in the most with extraordinary ensembles. And Mahler is part of that tradition, and it's a wonderful tradition. It really is. Bartók was part of that tradition. There's all kinds of stuff. Prokofiev's early stuff, like the Scythian Suite, that's part of that tradition. Taking folk elements and then gussying them up somehow in a way which doesn't destroy them, but enhances that folk-like element, the simplicity, the primitivism. Mahler does it using basically simple sounding melodies. Actually, they're quite sophisticated, but in the same way that Stravinsky does, with rhythm, with color, with timbre. Doesn't sound like Stravinsky, of course. It's a totally different style and idiom and school of writing, but the concept is very similar. And Des Knaben Wunderhorn has just the most wonderful songs. I mean, they are so terrific. And the reason I really enjoy this particular performance is because it has the widest range of all of the songs. In other words, you get the original version of the finale of the Fourth Symphony. It doesn't have sleigh bells. It has a tambourine instead, actually. It's rather interesting. And, written for soprano, which is what Madame Fulgoni is doing here. And you also get Urlicht, the movement that was inserted into the Second Symphony. In fact, I think there's only one major Wunderhorn setting which is not in here because you can't do it. And that's Es sungen drei Engelein, that choral movement from the Third Symphony. Es sungen drei Engelein ein süßer Gesang. Right, with the bim bom, with the bells and women's choir, and I mean, that obviously you can't do here. Although I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it exists as a solo song or not. I don't remember. I mean, I read like a whole thing about these things at one point, but anyway, I'm more into listening than reading these things. And this is the one I choose to listen to. It's on Decca. It is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Fabulously well sung. The playing is amazing. And of course, Leonard Bernstein did a Knaben Wunderhorn cycle with the Concertgebouw as well. And it wasn't very good. Oh, it had Lucia Pop. She was not in the best voice. A lot of the songs were transposed for the singers, and the transpositions didn't work very well. I mean, let's put it this way. You could tell they were transposed. They didn't sound right. They sounded off. But this is as beautiful and fresh and lively and inspired a performance of Knaben Wunderhorn as I ever hope to hear. And I adore it, and I hope you do too. So keep on listening, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.